Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, getting set for the Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings. Thursday night hockey is presented by Ram Trucks. And the crowd getting ready, players on the ice. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Second meeting of the season. Rangers won the first one in Detroit in overtime, and here we go. McDonough and Girardi on defense. Stepan, Nash, and Kreider open up for the Rangers. Justin Abdelkader, number 8. Nyquist, number 14. And Henrik Zetterberg, number 40. On for Detroit to open up.
Sam, you know, we talked about McDonough and Zetterberg. Well, right now the matchup up front is Stepan against Zetterberg. That's quite the test for Derek Stepan.
Howard holds on, and we will check out our Audi goaltending matchup. Jimmy Howard, he has struggled. He struggled with injuries this season. He has a couple of shutouts, and when he's on his game, he is very, very good. Henrik Lundqvist, as we mentioned, he's been playing a lot better of late. Had a strong game the other night, a tough 2-1 loss. But the goals against average starting to come down. Rangers bring on Strawman and Stahl on defense. Nice intercept by Hagelin. Richards, Callahan, and Hagelin, the forward line. Callahan with a good hit. Hagelin plays it up the boards. Hagelin, the University of Michigan product. Here's Richards, trying to get it in front. De Kaiser broke it up. Strawman, deep for Richards. Off the side of the net, Hagelin there to play it. Against Luke Glendening, another University of Michigan product.
They were teammates there. In fact, they were co-captains together.
Richards up for Strawman. Daniel Cleary goes to him. Around the boards to Hagelin. Good possession time here by the Rangers. Now Callahan and Richards. Hagelin is in front. Shot toward the net. A deflection by Hagelin. Or maybe it was Stahl on the deflection. He was in deep, and Howard made the save.
I think you were right the first time, but what a shift by this line. This group of 5, all moving, finding the open man, looking for the right play. You just see the continuous movement, all 5 players on the ice. And eventually the deflection, and Stahl tries to get there and find a rebound, but Howard covered up nicely.
Face-off win for the Rangers. Zuccarello plays it. Zuccarello on with Brassard and Pouliot. Cutting in was John Moore. The shot by Delzato intentionally wide of the net off the end boards. Here's Brassard. Rangers have controlled the puck last couple of minutes. Another save by Howard on the shot by Brassard through traffic. Pouliot's got it. Left it for John Moore, and then it's worked out of the zone. Back forward. There's Moore sending it around the boards. Tomáš Jurko from Slovakia. He'll play on the Olympic team. He's just been called up. Second time he's been called up from the American League in Grand Rapids. Played 6 games in his first call-up. It's been quite a year, he said. The dream year for him.
Yeah, he's been called up because of the absence of one of their good young players, Tatar.
Dominic Moore comes in and a quick shot, a save. Tatar not with the team.
Right, Thomas Tatar back in Slovakia because of the death of his father, and he's a real good young player. Meanwhile, turnover, good job here by McDonough. Stands up, there's the turnover, and it turns into this chance by Dominic Moore.
Rangers have been doing a good job. Here's Corey Emerton, number 25 on the face-off for Detroit. He played all of last season with the Red Wings. Good shot by Stahl and a save by Howard. Emerton got here, what, 5:30?
Walked into the building at 5:30. Another injury forced the Wings to make a call-up.
Emerton put it in front, and De Kaiser, the defenseman, had the deflection. Big save made by Lundqvist. That puck was out of the zone. Red Wings have to touch up and get onside.
The first save by Lundqvist in this game is a difficult one.
Pushed ahead by Dominic Moore, played by Kyle Quincy, number 27. The one-time Ranger, Michael Samuelsson, at 37 years old. still playing and in the lineup for tonight's game. Puck deflected out of play.
Well, the first 3 minutes of this game, the puck was in the Detroit zone, but they finally get it out, and this is what they can do when they've got a little time and space. Emerton on the recall, gets in, puts the equipment on, comes out, and a very nice setup to the defenseman Danny DeKeyser, and Lundqvist, good save.
Top lines are back on. Both coaches have made their 4-line rotations. Puck thrown in front to Stepan, saved by Howard. They'll be teammates on the U.S. Olympic team.
Oh, what a pass from Chris Kreider. Showed his strength, and then a nice little backhand pass. He just leads Stepan in. I mean, this is just a wonderful play by Chris Kreider. One-on-one, off the boards here. Now he'll have to use his body, protect the puck, and then just throws it up in the air, lands it softly so that Stepan can play it. Smith tries to out-muscle Kreider. He can't. And Stepan ends up with the chance.
Glendening and Stepan on the face-off. Red Wings control here. Into the long shot that got through and stopped by Lundqvist at the side of the net. Looked like he was going wide, but he holds on nevertheless. The man behind the bench is the longtime coach of the Detroit Red Wings, one time with Anaheim Ducks and with the Canadian Olympic team as well, Mike Babcock. An outstanding coach, and as he said, no excuses. They've got to find a way to get points.
He never uses any. And I thought the other thing was interesting this morning, talking with Sam, was how he mentioned
Kaiser with a big drive and a good save by Lundqvist, left pad.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Glendening checked there by Girardi. Trying to play it. Rangers take it away. Good play by Richards. Unable to clear. Now it's cleared out by Girardi. Pass in the middle of Richards. Trying to break to the net. Save off the glove. Good save by Howard. He's made some good ones early in the game.
Oh, what a start by him.
Hagelin checked by Glendening. Picked out comes to Delzato for a shot. Saved by Howard. Another one. Dives on top of the puck.
Jimmy Howard's been great. I mean, that last save, he didn't pick that up until it was probably 20 feet in front of him, and then he reacted. The Rangers are causing turnovers, and again, they're getting scoring chances in this game. They're off to a wonderful start, and Howard is so far the star of the game. Here it is. You can just see the last-second reaction by Jimmy Howard as he stopped that one. Sam, I think the fact that he made the U.S. Olympic team, he put a lot of pressure on himself to make that team. I think it affected the way he played. You mentioned the injuries also a factor. He's been good now in his last, including this game, his last 3 starts.
Al mentioned right at the top, they played a tough game Sunday night in Anaheim and lost 1-0.
And Howard didn't play in that because he had a hip flexor.
Right, and he played in the game against LA, and they won that one 3-1 the night before.
And he had 44 saves in Dallas in the game they won.
Zuccarello takes a hit from Kronwall, who knocked him down. Kronwall moves the puck, tapped in by the veteran Todd Bertuzzi. John Moore moves it. Drew Miller on the ice for Detroit. That shot, tough backhander that gave Lundqvist trouble, but he was able to stop it and cover up. And settle down. 4:56 gone by here in the first period. Experience MSG Game Flow during every Rangers game. Follow along on MSG.com with live play-by-play and up-to-the-minute stats. You'll also have access to in-depth player cards, live tweets from the MSG On Air team, and extensive pre- and post-game video and analysis. MSG Game Flow. You'll like it. Off the face-off, Emerson against Dominic Moore. Lash off with the shot from the point that went wide. Stahl moves it. Barcillo tried to clear, stopped by Corey Emerton. Emerton just called up from Grand Rapids in the American League. Off the boards. 48 games last season and 13 playoff games for the Red Wings. On the boards, Lash off. Gets it ahead of Michael Samuelsson. Game number 699 for Michael Samuelsson in his NHL career. He started in the San Jose organization, came to the Rangers, and moved along to several teams. Solid forward. Hamilton was tied up.
He hadn't been playing much when the team was healthy. He was a healthy scratch for quite a few games.
San Jose, Rangers, Pittsburgh, Florida twice, Detroit twice, and Vancouver. He's moved around a little bit.
He said this morning, he said, I got 3 kids now. And he said, you know, sometimes the coach likes me, sometimes he doesn't. So I just come to the rink, smile, and try hard.
He said when he's not playing, the coach says, you're getting older. 6 minutes, 7 seconds gone by. First period. No score, Rangers and Red Wings. It's about time to go between the benches. Brought to you by Ford. Here's John Giannone.
All right, thanks, Sam. To my right, very vocal first 6 minutes. Mike Babcock and his assistant Tom Rennie really giving a vociferous pregame pep talk to his injury-depleted team about pushing the pace. That's what he's wanted to see so far. Rangers with 7 shots in the first 6 minutes, so the focus from Alain Vigneault has been in the defensive zone. He got Derek Brassard and Matt Zuccarello aside just to make sure that they understood defensive coverages. We have Marty Biron on our side tonight. He'll be in studio. You can send your thoughts and questions to him. And our first intermission guest, Al Trautwig, will be with the captain, Ryan Callahan.
Thanks, John. We'll look forward to that. Another face-off win for the Rangers. Fired off the corner boards. Comes all the way out to Girardi. Moved out by Kronwall for Abdelkader into the Rangers zone. McDonough back for it. Abdelkader number 8. Gustav Nyquist number 14.
He's a young
Zetterberg number 40. Sorry.
He's a young talented player, Sam. So they want to score. They want him to shoot the puck, Nyquist.
Penalty upcoming.
He got hooked, Nyquist did.
On the Rangers, delayed penalty. Here's Kronwall winding up. 6 skaters on. Takes the pass. Shot blocked by Girardi. That hurt. Zetterberg keeps it in. Keeps it alive for the Red Wings. Now the Rangers touch up. And the penalty upcoming on a hooking call to Derek Stepan.
Yeah, and now we've got Kreider getting involved over on the other side.
With
Abdelkader. Abdelkader's a tough kid. He doesn't take any gruff from anybody. And Kreider, as we know, has tried, and he's talked about trying to be more of a physical player and play with more of an edge. Either way, it looks like Detroit will end up. Here's the penalty right there. That was Stepan with the hook on Nyquist. And after the play, Girardi, pretty good hit on Abdelkader, and Kreider comes in to help out on the play.
Now here's a strange number. The Red Wings have always had great special teams, but their power play with all these injuries, 0 for 21 over the last 5 games. Yeah. That is un-Detroit-like.
You know, they're getting 1 shot and that's it. And sometimes they're not getting any shots. And Michael Samuelsson, who will be on the second power play unit on the point, he said, we're just overthinking too much. That's the problem.
Lundqvist fires it hard and around the boards. It was blocked by Jurco. Here's Jurco's shot, save made by Lundqvist. Good quick shot by Tomas Jurco. Jurco sends it back to Kindle. Now it's played by De Keyser to Kindle. That shot stopped in front by Bertuzzi. That shot went off the post by Jurco. These youngsters on the ice making some things happen. Jurco to Sheehan to Bertuzzi. That's knocked away. Good play by McDonough. Kept in by De Keyser. Boyle and Hagelin with Girardi and McDonough for the Rangers. De Keyser to Kindle. High shot save. Lundqvist. Big rebound off the glass. Hagelin's got it, clears it.
Oh, yeah, that's a terrible power play.
That was 1 minute in the Rangers zone.
Wow. I mean, they moved the puck. They shot the puck. They weren't stagnant. They looked pretty good. I know they liked Jurco. They just recalled him. They liked him before when he was up. A good size and a talented player.
Second round draft pick. He's 21 years old. Samuelsson in front. Zetterberg save, rebound. Another save by Lundqvist. Zetterberg's got it back. He and Lundqvist will be teammates in the Olympics. Zetterberg, the captain of the Swedish Olympic team, with the puck. Checked there by Stahl. Rangers have Stahl and Stralman on with Callahan and Dominic Moore. That shot by Nyquist was blocked. That was a pass for clearance. And didn't connect. Kronwall to Zetterberg, moving toward the net. Shooting kicked away by Lundqvist. Sharp play by Henrik Lundqvist as he's been tested by the Red Wings here. And now the power play is over. 4 shots on goal for the Red Wings. But Lundqvist stopped them all.
And a few others that just missed.
Pass by Delzato, intercepted by Brendan Smith. Delzato tried to play it out. It was blocked. Lundqvist goes to get it. Off the board for Kreider. No score in the game. A little over 9 minutes gone by in the first period. Nash races to the puck. Knocked away by Kyle Quincy. Patrick Eads' pass was stopped by Kreider. Winds it deep for Stepan. Stepan checked by Quincy. Stepan goes down. Brendan Smith tried to clear, gave it away to his college teammate, Derek Stepan. Here's Nash with a shot, saved by Howard. Nash. Mike Babcock familiar with him. Nash played for Babcock in the Olympics in 2010. And Mike Babcock, interestingly enough, talks about Nash as being a shutdown player.
Yeah, that's the story I was going to try to finish telling a little bit earlier. That's how we used him in the last Olympics, and Nash was just tremendous. And that's where he's got him penciled in again.
And as a penalty killer.
Defensive role.
After the puck, John Moore is blocked by Yurko. Thomas Yurko, very impressive thus far in the game. Riley Sheehan, number 15, on the recent call-up as well from Grand Rapids. Bertuzzi to Yurko, in front, intercepted. Brassard in good position. Chips it off the glass and out of the zone. 9:35 to go, first period, no score in the game. Lundqvist stops the puck. McDonough there to play it.
Oh, this is a good pace in the game. The Rangers, the first 3 minutes of this game, it was all Rangers in the Detroit zone. Then the penalty, and then Detroit with all those power play chances. So we've had a couple of momentum shifts already.
Interesting forecheck by Detroit. McDonough had trouble with it. He pushes it past Zetterberg. Abdelkader takes it away for Detroit. McDonough checks him. Pass goes all the way through. Reichelt with a shot that's deflected away. Zetterberg's got it. Good possession time here by the Red Wings as they've taken charge of the game last couple of minutes. Abdelkader shot fought off by Lundqvist.
Well, you see the strength of Zetterberg. One way, then the other way. You can't stick check him.
Abdelkader moves it ahead for Nyquist, who sends it deep into the Ranger zone. Red Wings now with 10 shots on goal. Rangers with 8. 8.5 minutes to go here in the first. Scoreless game as Strawman dumps it in. Back to get it, Danny DeKeyser. Quincy moves it up for Drew Miller. Miller's dump in was deflected and taken away by Strawman. Good pass to Kreider. Kreider moves in with Nash, leaves it for him. Nash shoots, saved by Howard. Quincy takes a hit from Stepan. Good job by Stepan trying to get to the front, couldn't do it. Nash tied up behind the net. Kreider digging for the puck, takes it away from Quincy. And Kreider takes a tripping penalty. His stick got caught in the skates of Danny DeKeyser, and the Red Wings will get another power play. 7:49 to go. First period, no score.
The Detroit power play, boy, they had chances, but Henrik Lundqvist was tremendous. And so was Ryan McDonough as he stopped that shot by Yurko. And then later on, here's Lundqvist, once on Zetterberg, and how about the second one? Is it going to go inside the post? No, Lundqvist moves the right leg over and makes that save.
Wow.
Beautiful saves by Lundqvist. And that power play for Detroit the first time, well, it looked pretty darn good, and there's the penalty. That's not a good offensive zone penalty by Chris Kreider.
Kreider for tripping at 12-11. Red Wings 0 for 1 on the power play. 4 shots on goal on that first one. Boyle and Hagelin on with McDonough and Girardi. Red Wings control after winning the face-off. Shot toward the net, blocked by McDonough. Kept in by DeKeyser for Yurko. Yurko number 26. Here's DeKeyser. Big shot went high and wide. Yurko gets to it. Bertuzzi behind the net, number 44. Checked there by Girardi. Bertuzzi up the board to DeKeyser. To him was Hagelin. Pass went by Sheehan. Riley Sheehan, number 15. Outside, Kindle with a shot. Save! Lundqvist, good shot by Jakob Kindle, number 4. Boyle trying to play it. Girardi to McDonough. Whips it around the boards and out of the zone.
Yeah, really good play by Dan Girardi, who is slow to get off the ice. patient with the puck. Good communication between him and McDonough able to clear it.
Strawman and Stahl have come on with Callahan and Dominic Moore moving in. Nyquist shot it wide. Up the boards to Nicholas Kronwall. Here's Zetterberg looking. Stahl is in front of him. Zetterberg waiting. Out for Michael Samuelsson, taken away by Callahan. Races down, joined by Dominic Moore. Callahan moves around Samuelsson, shoots wide. All the way around the board, picked up by Gustav Nyquist. Lost control, taken away by Callahan. Slides it across for Dominic Moore. Moore moves in. Moore, backhander, kicked away by Howard.
Well, he had Michael Samuelsson, the forward, playing defense on that last play. Michael Samuelsson went one way, Dominic Moore went the other, and had a good chance on the backhand.
A couple of good plays shorthanded by Callahan and Dominic Moore. Tucked around to Zetterberg. Toward the net, knocked away. Good play by Girardi on Kronwall. The puck cleared by Stepan.
Boy, Girardi's off to a great start. He has made some fabulous plays here in the first period.
Zuccarello with a takeaway. Stepan's got it. Out of the penalty box comes Kreider. Loose puck in front. Taken away by Kyle Quincy. Only one shot on goal on that last power play. Good penalty kill by the Rangers. They had a couple of shots on goal, shorthanded. Played out of the zone. Actually only one shot on goal. Lundqvist stopped it, but had a couple of chances. Girardi up the board. No score in the game. Tipped out to center. Richards, good pass for Nash off his stick. Nash checked by Brendan Smith. Smith with a takeaway. Will move it to Justin Abdelkader. Kindle couldn't handle it. Delzato sends it back. Rangers have to get onside, and they do, but the Wings take over. John Moore back to the puck. 5 minutes to go. First period. Scoreless game. John Moore. Into the zone. Takes it deep and shoots. Saved by Howard. Hit by Kindle was John Moore. Hamilton trying to play it behind the net. Zuccarello tied him up. Richards able to move it. Down comes Delzato for Richards. Kindle takes it back for Detroit. Cleary's pass is tipped out by DeKaiser all the way down. They wave off icing. And Delzato fires it off the glass. Knocked down by Daniel Cleary. Taken away by Zuccarello. Derek Brassard. Chasing after it. Lash off there. Brassard with a hit. Cleary able to clear the zone. Stahl there to play it. Shots are even at 11. No goals. Offside whistled on Detroit. 4:10 to go. First period. Rangers and Red Wings. No score. It's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed. Coors Light. Check out these injuries for the Red Wings. Pavel Datsyuk, lower body. Daniel Alfredsson, back spasm. Concussion for Johan Franzen. Jonas Gustafsson, the backup goaltender. Darren Helm, starting centerman. Stephen Weiss, long-term injury, sports hernia surgery. Eriksson, the defenseman. Joachim Anderson, the center. That's a lot of injuries.
Datsyuk, Weiss, Helm were supposed to be their top three centers.
They're not here.
Zetterberg started the season on wing.
That's right. Fired around the boards by the Red Wings. Stopped by Mark Stahl. Bertuzzi on him. Stahl pushes it ahead to Hagelin. Hagelin skates it clear. Carries it in. Moves in on Daniel DeKaiser. Quincy got a piece of it. Callahan got it back to Hagelin. Now Richards, wraparound, saved by Howard. He's got the puck. Good work by Richards. Quick move around the net. And Jimmy Howard there to stop him. Saturday on MSG, Saturday afternoon. It's the Rangers and the Ottawa Senators. Live coverage gets underway with Visa Rangers game night at 1:30 in the afternoon. Then it's the Rangers and the Ottawa Senators afternoon hockey on Saturday on MSG Network. Hope you'll join us. And that's another very important game in the standings. Ottawa at 50 points.
Yeah, they're turning their season around. They struggled early.
Shot by McDonough gets through. Saved by Howard. Good shot by Ryan McDonough.
Now we talked about these defensemen tonight for Detroit, but Saturday we're going to see one of the league's best in Erik Karlsson. Won the Norris a couple of years ago and second in the league amongst defensemen in scoring.
See Bobby Ryan, the man who was snubbed for the U.S. Olympic team. Here's McDonough taking it to the net. Around the net, saved by Howard. Played back by Stepan to Girardi. Shot blocked by Abdelkader. Kreider to Nash. Nash to Kreider. The shot deflected wide. Good play. Line working well. Shot again by McDonough. Gloved by Howard, and he holds it. Strong shift for the Rangers.
Now Kreider was good using his strength. He and Smith really had a battle. And Kreider might have gotten hurt a little bit. I think Smith chopped him on the hands. And so he was a little slow. He was trying to find his way, trying to get position in front of the net. And Smith, the ex-Wisconsin Badger, they've had some pretty good defensemen come out of there.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Really good.
McDonough and Smith and Stepan were all teammates of Wisconsin. Jamie McBain, another defenseman, played there. Same time. Mark Stahl goes back to Todd Bertuzzi on him. Stahl controlling. Shot there by Sheehan. Bertuzzi was checked by Scalding. Stahl to Zuccarello. Zuccarello protects the puck. Strawman off the boards and on goal. Howard steering it.
It's been a spirited first period, and both teams playing with an edge. Good goaltending on both ends, scoring chances.
Rangers are now up to 16 shots on goal.
Jimmy Howard's been great.
Yes, he has.
Boy, oh boy.
Starting right away. Good idea by Brassard, who's broken up by Samuelson. Shot from the point by Pouliot. And Howard made the save and covered up.
Now the Rangers forced the turnover. And now it looks like Howard might need a new mask.
Yeah.
That was a hard rising shot by Pouliot. And Jimmy Howard's just been tremendous here. Here's the turnover here. The Rangers force it. Zuccarello sees Pouliot coming in, and Pouliot gets everything on this shot. Hard rising shot. Jimmy Howard was stunned. Let's listen. Ooh, boy.
Big crack. Howard is okay. Syracuse, New York native. 17 saves here in the first period. Still 2:19 to go in the period. Red Wings come out with it. Michael Samuelson with Drew Miller. Back for Samuelson. He was checked there by Del Zotto. Good play by Michael Del Zotto. Samuelson. Rangers take over. Richards moves it to Hagelin. Tries to lead Callahan. And offside was whistled on the play. A minute 58 to go here in the first period. New York Rangers hockey is brought to you in part by Lenox Hill Hospital, the official hospital of the New York Rangers.
Well, the Rangers came out in this first period, and they've done what they planned to do. Their game plan was to try and keep the puck in the Detroit zone, put a lot of pressure on these Detroit defensemen, and create scoring chances by doing that, and they have.
Del Zotto moves in. On the boards. Carcillo taken away by Glendening. Back to Carcillo, whose shot was blocked, knocked down by Brian Boyle. Boyle able to play it himself. Dominic Moore. Pass to John Moore is broken up in front. Good idea. Moore took the pass, but was checked immediately. Rangers come right back. Brendan Smith takes over. Ryan Lashoff clears it out. Here's Cleary. McDonough to Girardi. Pass Nash. And DeKaiser back for it.
DeKaiser played at Northern Michigan. He was an undrafted player, and he became an unrestricted free agent. Just about every team in the league wanted him, but he's a Michigan kid, and his dream was to play for Detroit, so that's where he ended up.
Nice poke check by McDonough. Stopped the rush of Zetterberg, and McDonough's passes to Nash. 50 seconds to go in the first period. Scoreless game. Stepan. This line has had good chances. Stepan checked by Abdelkader. To Nash off the post. The outside of the net. Howard may have gotten a piece of it. Abdelkader moves in. Stepan trying to catch up. Abdelkader to the net. Saved by Lundqvist. Abdelkader's got it back. Now Zetterberg. Centers. Save by Lundqvist. Big save. He makes another one. He stopped Riley Sheehan and then Brendan Smith. Oh, man, Lundqvist saying, wait a second. Jimmy Howard can't have the stage all to himself. We're sharing here. Both goaltenders outstanding. Pouliot. Final second. Zuccarello shot blocked with a skate by Kronwall, and the horn sounds ending the first period with good action on both ends. Good chances by both teams, and the goaltenders superb.
Man, what a period of hockey. I mean, then you talk about entertaining. That's what this period was. We saw everything. We saw hitting, scoring chances, and right at the end, one more time, this is Abdelkader, who's big and strong, takes it hard to the net, and then this save right here on Sheehan. Pass, quick shot. He's another one of those rookies, a former first-round pick, and Lundqvist with a couple of saves to end the period.
Let's go downstairs to the game side studio. Al is standing by. Al, back at Madison Square Garden getting set for the second period. Rangers and Detroit Red Wings. New York Rangers hockey is presented by Chase. Time for our Cadillac trivia question of the night. Which three teams are sending an NHL high 10 players to the 2014 Olympics in Sochi?
Wow.
LA Kings, Chicago Blackhawks, and
That's the Red Wings.
all right, let's put them in there. I'm saying LA and
I think they're
Chicago.
9. Yeah, okay.
Let's see, what do we get here?
What about Anaheim?
Oh, Blues, forgot the Blues, sorry.
They're
Sorry,
not bad.
St.
They're not
Louis.
bad either. We'll see them here next week. What a tremendous season they are having as well. And that man right there had a tremendous first period. Wow, he was really good. And you're right, Sam. He's had some struggles this year. He's had some injuries, and again the feeling. And talking to Chris Osgood, the former goaltender for Detroit, who won 3 Stanley Cups. Talked to him before the game. He's doing television now for Detroit, and he said, since he was named to the Olympic team, it's like a weight was taken off his shoulder. These guys put so much pressure on themselves to play well that sometimes it's detrimental to their play. They try so hard because of the importance of playing for their country at the Olympics, and so he's playing better. And that man, I think the same way. And we heard Marty Biron talking about him, and you know he wants to win a Stanley Cup here in New York. He also wants to win a gold medal again for Sweden.
A lot of good action back and forth, Joe, in the first period. Good chances. What do you look for here in the second?
Well, again, I think, you know, for the Rangers, the key for them is continue to put pressure on. Good play there by Lundqvist on a bouncing puck. But put pressure on the offensive zone and get a few more people in front of Jimmy Howard.
Kreider, good pass to Nash. Nash against Kronwall. Penalty! Whoa, Nash slides hard into the net, knocks it off the pegs. And thank goodness for pegs moving as Rick Nash is okay.
Very good pass from Chris Kreider coming out of his own zone all the way across the ice to Rick Nash. And Nash he probably had a half a step on Kronwall. There's the pass right in stride. And Kronwall, who's a very good defensive player, you see him with the stick. He gets the stick in on the legs of Nash, and down he goes. Real good pass. There's the stick right there. And takes down Nash. And Nash luckily did not get hurt as he slid heavily into the net.
Kronwall for hooking at 21 seconds. Rangers' first power play of the game. And this power play is brought to you by Volkswagen. Rangers were shut out on the power play in the game against Tampa Bay 0 for 2. But with power play goals in 5 of the last 6 games, 6 for 20. Richard shoots, save, Howard. Good shot. Howard with a left pad save. And the puck all the way down.
Marty Biron also made the point about Jimmy Howard, how he's stopping everything down low. The Rangers can get something up high. They might have a little more success.
Brassard, Zuccarello, and Pouliot. Richards falling down. And the puck went over the top and off the glass. McDonough and Richards play the points. Here's McDonough. Rich shot, save off the chest of Howard. Clearing attempt gets by. Richards all the way back.
That's a smart play by McDonough. It was an easy-looking wrist shot, but when he looked up, the man who's always in front of the net is Benoit Pouliot. He was there, and just that wrist shot nearly got through.
Richards fires around the boards. Pouliot after it. DeKaiser is there. And the puck frozen in the corner for a faceoff.
They're trying to find the puck.
Caught up in the jersey of DeKaiser.
Yeah, I think so.
Minute 2 seconds remaining.
Meanwhile, here's McDonough. See how he looks up right there and sees Pouliot. Pouliot tried to get a deflection and missed.
Stepan Kreider and Nash come on. Richards stays on. Girardi has come on. Girardi to Richards. Richards looks. Here's Girardi. Pressured, gets it to Nash. Quick shot. Hit Kreider. Kreider plays it back up the boards to Nash. Stepan touch pass to Girardi. On to Richards. Now to Nash for the shot. Save. Howard. Rebound. Stepan tied up. DeKaiser tied up Stepan's stick and he couldn't get to the rebound.
Yeah, Stepan just can't find a way to buy a goal. It was a quick wrist shot by Nash, and Jimmy Howard had trouble handling it as he was coming across from his right to his left. And Kreider was there for the rebound. Here's a good pass by Richards. There's the quick release up high. He's having trouble controlling those shots that are higher around the shoulders. And Stepan was there to get the rebound, but another good second save by Jimmy Howard.
Delzato has come on, replacing Richards. 34 seconds to go on the power play. And another false start. Whistle blows from the linesman. And Stepan is chased. Kreider comes in to take the face off. Kreider against Glendening. Kreider went forward with it. The Red Wings able to play it. Cleary clears all the way down. Lundqvist leaves it behind the net.
Glendenning's a good penalty killer. Was the defensive player of the year in the CCHA back in 2011, playing for Michigan.
Stepan goes deep against Quincy. That's Girardi to Stepan, moving down with it. Turns back to Girardi for the shot, blocked by Glendening. Kreider around to Stepan off the side of the net. Power play is over. Glendening clears it, and Girardi stopped it. Kronwall was cutting toward the puck. Here's Glendening for Detroit. Deflected out of play by Girardi. Rangers had 3 shots on goal on their power play. 2:32 gone by second period. Scoreless game. Luke Glendening.
He's an interesting story. He is a Michigan kid that was a walk-on to the University of Michigan. Played for Red Berenson, made the team. As I mentioned earlier, he and Hagelin were co-captains. Right. Glendening was a junior that year. Hagelin was a senior.
Tells you a lot about him when you walk on to a program like the University of Michigan and make the team and become the captain. Nice intercept by Strawman and poked away by Abdelkader. Kindle to DeKaiser. Good pressure by Callahan. In comes Hagelin. That deflects on goal, and it's gobbled up by Jimmy Howard, and he holds it. 2:54 gone by in the second. See the Rangers at the transformed Madison Square Garden. A limited number of individual game tickets are on sale now. The Rangers take on the St. Louis Blues next Thursday, January 23rd. For great seats, be sure to visit NewYorkRangers.com. And that'll be some game. Blues, one of the top teams in the NHL.
They just don't lose very often, do they?
No.
They come at you with a lot of different weapons.
Big, strong, fast, and good goaltending.
Well, maybe the biggest question
Shot by Strawman, deflected away.
will be if their goaltending holds up.
Off the skate of Yurko and covered by Lundqvist. 3:15 gone by here in the second.
Very aggressive save by Jimmy Howard. I mean, he was a good 5 feet outside of the blue paint. Good forecheck by Callahan. Hagelin helps out. And then that high rising shot, and Jimmy Howard gets the blocker on that one and makes his 23rd save of this game.
Zetterberg and Dominic Moore for the face-off. Moore, Boyle, and Carcillo on. Carcillo races out to the point man. Good job there. The Rangers take over. Ryan Boyle. Long shot knocked away by Howard. Lashoff was able to get it from out in front. That shot stopped. Howard on the rebound. rebound by Boyle. Stops him with a pad.
He's having trouble with the high shots, controlling those as he's leaving rebounds on those shots.
Zetterberg. Might have been a pass for Abdelkader, a little behind him. Back behind the net. Lundqvist stopped it for Girardi. And Carcillo finds Boyle. A couple of good passes by Carcillo. Chased down by Dominic Moore. He's tied up. Nyquist. Kindle plays it out. And it's Daniel Cleary, number 71, to Henrik Zetterberg. Back to Cleary. Cleary drives in, backhander missed wide. Good chance by Cleary. Eaves moves it back. Eaves up the boards. Hit on Glendening by Delzato. Tipped ahead by Cleary. Race for the puck. Eaves and Delzato. Good job by Delzato on Eaves, allowing John Moore to move it. Nash to Moore. Moore double team, taken away by Cleary. Now Patrick Eaves with a shot off the chest, fought off. Tough shot, and a good play by Lundqvist. Here's Pouliot, 2-on-1 with Zuccarello. Zuccarello for Pouliot, who was blocked by Kronwall. Zuccarello has it back for Pouliot again, and his shot was blocked, and then he shot it wide. Good effort by Zuccarello. In deep, that's fired right through the crease by Stepan. And out of the zone, Mark Stahl comes back to get it.
Boy, what a play by Kronwall defensively. Just showed a lot of patience and then blocked the pass on the 2-on-1.
Michael Samuelsson winds up, fakes. Game number 699 for Michael Samuelsson. 37 years old. Played across by Kyle Quincy. And Stepan moves it back to Strowman. Strowman with Stahl. Now Kreider. Tried to dump it in. Good job by Quincy. Kreider's stick got up on Quincy, but no call.
No, he didn't. Oh, there wasn't.
There's no call. The linesman had called an offside, but neither referee saw the stick come up.
Now, just prior to this, the Rangers, here's the long shot that Howard has a problem with. It was a rising shot, and then the Rangers get it back to the net, and Howard has to make a second save on Boyle. And then the 2-on-1, and here's Kronwall playing it perfectly. Stick in the right position, gets his skates together, nowhere to go on the pass. And Kronwall with a very smart defensive play, and now Kyle Quincy is wondering why there was no penalty. He did get hit with a high stick right after the whistle.
Somebody thought it must have been a penalty. They were about to skate into the Rangers zone for a face-off, and they brought it back. So,
I thought so.
No penalty call. Rangers fortunate there. The puck sent down. John Moore hustles after it. It's whistled down for an icing on Detroit.
You know, the thing about Kreider is that I'm not sure he knows his own strength yet.
That's a good point.
You know, he just tries to lift the stick of Quincy to get by him. And, you know, the stick comes up.
Let's see what John Giannone saw between the benches. John.
There's a lot of smiles and chuckles because I think both linesmen actually thought there was a penalty. That's why they had taken that face-off into the Rangers zone, and then they got together with the referees and discovered it was just an offside.
Face-off win. John Moore's shot was blocked. Front save on the rebound. Hagelin had a big chance, and Howard robbed him.
Now, Hagelin didn't get all of it. What a chance for him. He needed to get the puck up, and he kind of fanned on the shot. He got about maybe 2/3 of what he really wanted to do here. He just couldn't get all of the shot as it puck was rolling a little bit. And give Howard credit. Boy, he has really been good tonight. He has just been tremendous. As he gets over there, does the splits. And there's, you could see the puck as it came into him was actually dipping. So he only got it off the top of the blade, and that allowed Howard to make the save.
Well, this game's only 26 minutes old. That shot just missed the far post. Rangers have 27 shots on goal.
You know, since the Rangers turnaround and starting to win games and playing better, I mean, their shots on a per-game basis have gone way up. And you talk to the players, and the players all tell you it's because of the way they're playing defensively in their own zone, making the right reads, and then generally the first pass coming out of their end is pretty good.
Zetterberg for Detroit. Red Wings with 18 shots on goal. Rangers 9 here in the second period. Detroit with 3. This is an icing on the Rangers. The face-off coming all the way back. 6:35 gone by here in the second period. As
All that
Captain
being said,
Callahan adjusts the helmet.
all that being said, Sam, there's no score yet.
No.
I mean, that's what's frustrating when you get scoring chances after scoring chances. We saw it against Tampa Bay. Ben Bishop was tremendous. Jimmy Howard's been great thus far. And I'm sure that Alain Vigneault is telling his players, keep getting to the net, find those loose pucks, try and get in front of him.
Similar to the game Detroit played in Anaheim Sunday night. And Anaheim was able to break through with a goal, and that was it.
I thought that game was a little tighter defensively by both teams. I believe the shots were, about 23 apiece in that game. So they've already allowed more in this game, Detroit, than they did the entire game against Anaheim.
Glendening in the Rangers zone. Checked there by John Moore. Pouliot moves it. Patrick Eaves for Detroit. Without the helmet is Glendening. Cleary out to Kendall. Cleary checked there by Delzato. Trying to get to the front. Nice job by Delzato staying on Daniel Cleary. And the puck out of the zone. Brassard. Samuelson moves it back. Lead to Corey Emerton. Emerton moves in on John Moore. Emerton looks around, puts it back to Brendan Smith and missed wide. Off the boards, kept in by Drew Miller. Delzato tied up with Michael Samuelson. Boyle is there against Drew Miller. Puck loose to Dominic Moore, looks for an opening.
Real good communication there. Dominic Moore had Detroit players on both sides of him, but took his time and made the play.
Carcillo hustles to the puck, checked by Kronwall. Red Wings change. The Red Wings able to chip it out. Rangers were changing while the puck was coming out of the zone. Girardi and McDonough on. Dumped in by Carcillo. Gets there against Zetterberg. Now Dominic Moore. Long shift for this Rangers fourth line. There's Girardi. Boyle couldn't get a clean shot. And it's brought out by Nyquist. Nyquist with good speed. Stopped by the combination of Girardi and McDonough. Moore gets it out for Carcillo, and it was stopped by Quincy. Lundqvist plays it off the glass. Zetterberg tried to get in front. It was whistled down. I believe there's a high stick call. I don't know if the puck was played with a high stick or whether there's a penalty coming up. We'll check it out. No penalty on the play. It was whistled down, touched for a high stick, I believe. But the clearing attempt by Lundqvist apparently hit one of the Red Wings players up high. And play was whistled to a stop. No penalty on the play.
It was a good job by the officials. They got together, they talked it over, and I think initially the arm was up for a penalty, but they discussed it and agreed that it was the puck that caused the injury and not a stick.
Kevin Pollock and Justin St. Pierre, the referees tonight. 8:55 gone by, second period, scoreless game. Red Wings with 2 power play chances in the first period. Rangers have had 1 power play chance in the game. Here in the second. Stepan. Stopped there by Riley Sheehan. Stahl and Strawman. Strawman's pass to Nash. Now Kreider. Checked there by Brendan Smith. Stepan for Nash, and he missed it. He missed his shot.
Yeah, he
tried to tee it up and it slid off his stick.
Just fanned on the shot.
Kreider behind the net. Big chance for Rick Nash. Kreider moving against Kronwall. Nash shoots. That was a pass for Stepan.
It hit him and nearly deflected in. Hit him in the legs.
Fired in by Riley Sheehan. Around the boards for Bertuzzi. He's double teamed. Strawman and Stepan there. Puck loose to Mark Stahl. Just past the midway point of the second.
10 shots in the first 10 minutes. of this period for the Rangers.
Kronwall. It's tipped ahead by Abdelkader, but over the glass, and the crowd in play stops with 9:46 remaining in the second period. Rangers and Red Wings, no score. And there is one of the all-time greats in NHL history, terrible Ted Lindsay, who played for the Red Wings and for the Blackhawks. What a great man and a great player he was. His career started in 1944. And great to see Ted here. He was at the morning skate.
Yes, he was. Boy, he looks great. He looks just tremendous. And I'll tell you what, it takes a special individual to stand up like he did to start the players union against the owners way back when. And he had some opposition, but I'll tell you what, he stood tall and stood strong, which is exactly the way he played the game.
The Hall of Famer is number 7, hangs from the rafters at Joe Louis Arena. Speaking of Joe Louis Arena, the Red Wings haven't played there since December 23rd. They had a home game for the Winter Classic in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, well, they should be happy because they've been terrible at
That's
home.
right.
You know, which is really hard to understand because for years and years and years, this Detroit team at home has been so
They never
difficult
lost.
they're just difficult to beat. This year, it's been the opposite. They've been one of the best, maybe the best road team in the league. But at home, it's been a real struggle.
This is an icing on the Rangers with 9:34 to go in the second. Wednesday on MSG, it's courtside conversation from the dinner table as JB Smoove returns with guests Nick Cannon, Cedric the Entertainer, Jeff Ross, and Carl Banks. 4 courses with JB Smoove, presented by Visa. The new season begins Wednesday at 11 p.m. on MSG Network. Zuccarello away with the puck. Lashoff stopped him, but he got it to Pouliot to a run. Brassard, saved by Howard.
Well, Brassard did a good job getting to the puck and getting a piece of it before Howard made the save.
Steal by Zuccarello, great play. Around the boards to Pouliot. Reverses. Kindle got a piece of it, but Zuccarello takes it back. Out to McDonough. Check there by Bertuzzi. Fights off the check. McDonough centers for Zuccarello. He's checked by Kindle. A save by Howard on Pouliot. At the board for Girardi to Pouliot. Brassard working against Bertuzzi. Brassard to Zuccarello. He's got room. Makes a move on Kindle. Back pass to Pouliot. Now Brassard saved. And it's knocked away by Yurko from Zuccarello. Played around the boards to Zuccarello. What a shift to this line. Zuccarello took a hit from Lashoff. And Yurko sends it into the Rangers' zone. Strong shift by Brassard. Pouliot and Zuccarello. Hagelin shot snicked aside by Howard. Shot by Callahan. A bouncer. That was mishandled by Howard, but the Red Wings able to play it. Patrick Eaves sends it in. 32 shots for the Rangers.
They just added one more.
There's a chance. Glendening is robbed. Another save. And that shot went wide. Oh, man. This time Lundqvist steps up big.
What a performance by these goaltenders. This is something to watch. This is something to watch, boy. These guys are just playing terrific goal.
The puck went into the Rangers bench, stopping play.
Lundqvist has faced 20 shots. The Rangers will win the face-off in their own zone, and then they go to work. Zuccarello hard on the puck, gets a little bit of support. That leads to the chance by Brassard. And then they just keep going. And Jimmy Howard is able to find pucks through people and just keep kicking them out. Henrik Lundqvist is watching all that and says, okay, when's it my turn? Boy, Glendening had 2 good chances.
Did he ever? Lundqvist steers it to Strawman. Gets away from Drew Miller. Miller ties him up. Emerton comes off the board. Corey Emerton with the puck. Back pass. Kronwall shot saved. Lundqvist. The rebound loose. Played by Stahl. Oh, a lot of traffic in front of Lundqvist there. Ryder getting it across to Stepan. Lifts it out of the zone. Taken by Nash. Trying to find a way in here. Emerton with a good play. But a bad pass. Kreider gets there. Kreider trying to find it. Knocked away by Brendan Smith. Nash. Red Wings take it back. Man, teams taking turns, making some plays,
Good
forcing
hockey game.
turnovers.
Sam?
Real good.
Really entertaining, skating, great intensity.
Lots of shots. This puck wide of the net becomes an icing on the Rangers with 6:40 to go in the second.
Now, it's been the goaltending that's really been tremendous in this game. Here's Lundqvist. Glendening with one chance. Lundqvist comes out aggressively and then stops the second one as well, keeping his position. And then the point shot. And Lundqvist on a bouncing puck. Took a bounce in front of him, but again, his positioning was good. Marty Biron saying, you know, he sees the body language of Henrik Lundqvist getting better. And when that happens, his overall play improves.
Callahan trying to get it out of the zone, stopped by Kyle Quincy. That was intercepted. Nice play by McDonough. And the shot by Quincy. Zetterberg lost it. Hagelin brings it in. Hagelin against DeKaiser. And deep behind the net, Richards. Callahan at the side of the net. Pass blocked by Applicator. Richards out to Girardi. Rich shot off the glove of Howard. Behind the net, Callahan. Against Applicator, now picked up by Quincy. Here's McDonough. McDonough drives to the net. Puck check by Howard. Nice play by Jimmy Howard. Quincy trying to move it. That's blocked. Now Danny DeKaiser gets it out of the zone. Down the ice it goes. And it's an icing on the Red Wings.
Boy, the Red Wings are tired. That group is really tired. They're going to have to stay on the ice. Zetterberg went to the bench to get a towel. He's got to stay out there. Wonderful pressure by the Rangers. I mean, when they get the puck down below the hash marks, they've really given Detroit all kinds of problems in this game. 34 shots for the Rangers with 5:42 to go in the second period. Babcock elects not to use his timeout here. So the Rangers out against a tired group.
9 straight games, the Rangers have had 30 or more shots. Here's Zuccarello, checked by DeKaiser. Rosado. Pouliot, knocked down by Quincy. Zetterberg, oh, Pouliot went back at Zetterberg. Zuccarello with a good play. Penalty upcoming on Detroit. Here's Brassard around the net, pass in front. Taken away by Zetterberg. Rangers get a power play on a hooking call. And the Rangers get their second power play of the game, which is scoreless.
Well, the icing for Detroit was key because that group had to stay on the ice. And DeKaiser was tired. Zuccarello with the good forecheck gets in on him quickly, causes a turnover, and there's the stick by DeKaiser into the waist of Zuccarello. That's a hooking call, and so the Rangers, with all that pressure, draw a penalty and get the power play.
Their second power play of the game, and this power play is brought to you by Volkswagen. Rangers 0 for 1. 3 shots on goal on the first one. They start the power play with Brassard, Pouliot, and Zuccarello, McDonough, and Richards. Face-off win by Brassard. Richards toward the net, blocked by Kyle Quincy. Pouliot to Zuccarello. Out to Richards. Cross to McDonough, back for Richards, ahead for Zuccarello. Lashoff gets there, and Luke Glendening skates it clear. Dumps it in and challenges Richards. Falls down, sweeps it behind the net, and McDonough picks it up. 4:45 to go, second period, scoreless game.
Detroit's trying to put a little bit more pressure on the Ranger point men on this power play.
Cleared out, picked up by Drew Miller. Miller with Corey Emerton. Shot blocked by McDonough. Miller again. Save by Lundqvist. Oh, big short-handed chance for Drew Miller. McDonough. And that started with a dump in by Brad Richards. It was blocked down in the zone. Great job by Detroit standing up at the blue line.
The penalty killing has been good this year. 6th in the league coming into this game. And you can see not only standing up at the blue line, but if the Rangers do get it in the zone, there's more pressure. It's another good play.
Now Nash drives deep. Out to McDonough. Now to Richards. Nash, Kreider, and Brassard on. Brassard has stayed on. Nash has got it. Leaves it for Brassard. Out to McDonough. Kreider sets up in front. Brassard. Nash Kreider off his stick wide. Around the boards. Nash to McDonough. That's deflected into the corner. Stepan has come on replacing Brassard. Nash has it, 20 seconds to go in the power play. It's out of the zone. And it's whistled down for a hand pass off of McDonough.
Now Detroit with their penalty killing, and here's the chance from Miller. Strong move, and then Lundqvist just reaches out with the right arm and gets a piece of it with the blocker, and somehow deflects it out the other way.
And he lifted his skates up and his legs up, otherwise it might have deflected off of the pad and in. 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. 10 seconds to go in the Rangers power play. They've had one shot on goal on the power play. Nash. Girardi's pass intercepted and cleared by Quincy. Real good penalty kill by the Red Wings. Teams at full strength. No score in the game. With 3:05 to go in the second. Played by Lashoff, picked up by Quincy. Off the glass. Blocked and kicked ahead by Callahan. Gets it back from Stepan. Callahan to Stepan. Stepan to Callahan. He's in. And he missed the net. Oh, the net was wide open. And he missed. Stepan checked there by Lashoff. And the Red Wings come clear 3-on-2. Abdelkader moves in. Rangers even it up. Long shot saved by Lundqvist. And he holds it.
What a pass from Stepan. And just when it looked like Callahan was going to put it in, I believe it was Zetterberg that came back and made the defensive play on him. Here it comes again. Zetterberg is with Callahan there. There's the play. Now as he makes the move, let's see if Zetterberg gets over and just gets his stick on the stick of Callahan. Zetterberg, one of the best defensive players in the game. Right there, just gets a stick. And Callahan didn't have all the freedom he quite needed to control the puck.
I think when Zetterberg got that Callahan stick, it changed the angle that Callahan had on the net.
That's a great defensive play.
Hagelin moves in. Scoreless game. Got wide. Around the boards, Boyle there to stop it. De Kaiser gets to it. Boyle on him. Callahan battling there. Yurko chips it ahead. Tomas Yurko has a man in front. He waits. The pass tipped away. Good play by Strowman. Shot by Kindle. Saved by Lundqvist. Through traffic with Bertuzzi in front of him. There goes Hagelin. Racing in. He's picked up there by Smith. Dropped it back, but it was missed by Callahan. Bertuzzi's got it. Just under 2 minutes to go. Now Kindle to Zetterberg. Zetterberg checked by Mark Stahl. And poked by Lundqvist. Good play. Back behind the net. It's on the back of the net, and play stops with 1:44 to go in the second period of a scoreless game. Well, his banner hangs from the Garden rafters, but how did Adam Graves go from a kid from Toronto to the heart of the Rangers? Find out on an all-new Beginnings, presented by Melrose Credit Union, Tuesday night following Rangers Islanders on MSG. That is a good story.
On the ice, and then the story off the ice is as good, if not better.
That's right.
Isn't it, Sam?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how you find a better person than Adam Graves.
No. I don't think anybody who has met Adam Graves could say anything negative about the man. He's just a wonderful, wonderful person.
He is so sincere, and
caring. Cares about everybody he meets. Abdelkader. Girardi is there. Long shot save. Late reaction by Lundqvist. Picked it up a little bit late. As Abdelkader with a nice move. Back the other way. Zuccarello. Spinning. It's knocked away by Zetterberg. Brassard goes over into the corner with Zetterberg. Pouliot is there. Pouliot against De Kaiser. Came through the crease under a minute to go in the second period. Now Brassard. Pass intended for John Moore goes all the way back. 50 seconds to go in the period. Rangers 35 shots through 2 periods. Red Wings 25. Long pass for Nash coming off the bench. Howard goes out to get it. Gave it away to Stepan. But it's taken back by Emerton. Samuelson able to lift it out of the zone. Delzato chases after it through Miller. to John Moore. Taken back by Kyle Quincy. Smith, hard pass for Michael Samuelson. Waits. Cross for Kyle Quincy. Lundqvist passes it in the corner. Played there by Stepan. Final seconds of the period. No scoring in the second. And again, good skating, good action, great goaltending.
Well, this has been 2 periods where both teams have skated. They put so much pressure on the opposition. They're forcing each other into turnovers. That is leading to quality scoring chances, and that is leading to one of the best goaltending performances in a game, I think, that we've seen all season long, where both goaltenders are playing at this level.
Rangers head for the locker room. We head down to the game side studio to Al Troutwig. Al, we are back at Madison Square Garden getting set for the third period. Rangers and Red Wings. New York Rangers hockey is presented by Chase. And tonight's game recap is brought to you by Tri-Honda dealers. And the recap is all about the goalies. See the shots? First period, second period, see the saves. No goals against either goaltender.
Yeah, the thing that's been so impressive is you've got both teams that have worked so hard to create scoring chances. And these aren't just easy saves for these goaltenders. I mean, both of them have made high quality saves throughout.
John Giannone has talked to the Rangers coaches. Let's find out what he found out. John?
Yeah, I talked to associate coach Scott Arniel, and he had something interesting to say. You know, you had Ben Bishop 2 nights ago, and now you've got Jimmy Howard tonight. I said, is it starting to get inside your team's head? He said, no, it's not like we've been scoring like crazy all year long. He said, we know this is the way it's going to be all year. Tight games, we're not going to gamble, but hey, we're getting a ton of scoring chances. He said, the one interesting thing, you saw Ryan Callahan do it in the second period, maybe a pump fake or two when you go to take a shot, just to get Jimmy Howard out of his comfort zone and off his line a little bit. So you might see the Rangers try that a little bit here in the third period. Pump fakes and maybe hesitate just a little bit to shoot.
Yeah, you know, they should try it when Henrik Zetterberg's not on the ice.
That's right. Otherwise, he's coming up with a defensive play and blocking the stick. Stepan Nash, Kreider, Girardi, and McDonough for the Rangers to start the third period. Scoreless game. Red Wings finishing up a stretch of 5 straight road games. Here's Zetterberg carrying in deep. McDonough's there to stop him. Good play by Ryan McDonough. Abdelkader in the corner, checked by Stepan. That shot by Yurko, a save by Lundqvist. Abdelkader's got it. Line change here by Mike Babcock.
Yurko showed some good things early in the game, so he puts him up on the top line with the top player.
Around for Girardi. Stopped by Abdelkader. Yurko goes down. Rangers come out with it. Stepan off the boards. Rangers change lines. Strong first shift for the Red Wings. And then Smith's pass tipped ahead by Cleary. Stralman back to get it. Patrick Eaves on him.
That matchup, though, remains the same with the Stepan line out against Zetterberg, and of course McDonough and Girardi on defense.
Glendening strong on the forecheck against Stralman. Richards tied up by DeKaiser, pinching in. Detroit coming out with an aggressive forecheck. Stahl was taken down by Cleary. Stahl gets up slowly. Rangers move out with it. Stralman drops it off. Callahan. Shot deflected out of play by Kyle Quincy. A minute and a half gone by in the third. We check out the division standings brought to you by Kia. In the Metropolitan Division, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Washington up top. There are the Rangers, who are in the number 8 spot in the conference and in the wild card position, but only 1 point behind Washington and Philadelphia. And Washington will be here Sunday night.
6 teams within 5 points of one another.
Crowded race in the Eastern Conference. Zuccarello around the net. Controlling nicely, chased by Lashoff. Stops. The shot got through. Save by Howard. I don't know if he ever saw it till the last second, but he kicked out the left pad, made the save. Bertuzzi to Kindle. Save made by Lundqvist. Goaltenders just fabulous on either end.
Well, Zuccarello's not a big man, as we've talked about, but he plays awfully big. And when he gets this puck here, how he is able to control it with players all over. Watch, behind the net. Lashoff is on top of him, stays with him, and now Zuccarello will use him as a screen. And with all those bodies in front, somehow Jimmy Howard is able to make another save.
Dominic Moore wins the face-off. Girardi plays it. Stopped by Lashoff. In front of the Red Wings bench, Drew Miller tried to play it. Girardi poked it loose. Jimmy Howard behind the net. Keeps it moving. Stopped by Dominic Moore. The shot blocked. Another shot. Carcillo hit the outside of the net. Carcillo getting it back to McDonough. Trying to buy some space. He does. He shoots and it's blocked in front. Lashoff and Boyle were tied up. Brought out by Emerton. Corey Emerton to Michael Samuelson. Glove wide of the net. Juggled and dropped with the whistle. Stop play.
Well, the
referee thought that Lundqvist had it.
Yeah, he made the glove save and then bobbled it. And then with Detroit, I'm not sure which player actually got in there, but dislodged the puck. It was Emerton that got in quickly. And I believe the referee thought Lundqvist still had it in his glove. Here's the shot. You'll see the bobble right there. Has it, then Emerton with the collision. And then just prior to that, this first shot gets blocked, and then Carcillo ends up with, good right pad save by Jimmy Howard.
Zetterberg and Richards on the face-off. Nyquist swings it around the boards. Callahan goes over. And it's batted into the Rangers bench, stopping play. 2:43 gone by, third period, scoreless game. And a little cut on the lip of Corey Emerton.
He got hit hard there at the end, going into the boards. You know, Sam, it just, the way these two goaltenders are stopping everything, if they can see it, it just makes you think that the only way someone's going to score is either in a shootout when it's 0-0 or a deflection or a screenshot that they don't see. I mean, they have been able to find everything else.
Pass by Girardi, missed connection, turns into an icing, and back into the Rangers zone for another face-off. They come. Introducing the lounges at the newly transformed Madison Square Garden. A spectacular new group seating and hospitality experience on the new bridge level. Visit NewYorkRangers.com or call 212-465-6080. Nyquist tried to turn and fire, blocked by Girardi. McDonough moves it. Now comes to Kaiser, and he's tied up by Hagelin. Rangers come out. Callahan pushes it ahead.
The penalty.
Got picked off, and no call on the play.
Now you cannot leave your lane to interfere with a player when he tries to go around you.
Nyquist the other way. Turns and shoots. Stick save by Lundqvist. Played by Appelcaver. Been taken away by McDonough. Richards up the boards for Callahan. Callahan pushed it into the Detroit zone. Kyle Quincy moves it around to Zetterberg. Henrik Zetterberg reverses. 3:40 gone by, third period, scoreless game.
Sam, you know, we talked about all the injuries on Detroit. Detroit's been on this long road trip, and when they played out west, it was like old-time hockey the way they defended against Zetterberg. They just followed him around. They didn't want him touching the puck.
Box and one. Stralman has some room to skate. Goes cross ice to Mark Stahl. Stop. Cleared out by Conwall. Glendening will step on him. Conwall plays it to Brendan Smith. Each team with 2 power play chances in the game. Detroit had 2 in the first period. Rangers 2 in the second. Off the boards. Bertuzzi pass across a little behind.
I'm not so sure Stralman didn't get a piece of that. Stralman got over and was in pretty good position to defend, and it might have just ticked off him.
Brought in by Riley Sheahan. His shot blocked by Delzato. Sheahan plays it off the side of the net. Rangers able to control. Delzato to Zuccarello. Now Pouliot out for Brassard. Joined by Delzato. Delzato goes deep and shoots, saved by Howard and no rebound. 5:01 gone by here in the third period.
Yeah, Detroit had an opportunity. 2-on-1 on-man break. Here comes Bertuzzi with the pass. Stralman gets over. And like I said, just missed it. Yeah, I guess that was the only place for him to put it was
Yeah.
through the legs, and it was just a little bit behind. And it turns out to be no shot on goal. Todd Bertuzzi just keeps playing, doesn't he? How long has he been in the league? 30 years?
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Still a pretty effective player.
One-time first-round draft pick of the Islanders. And the zone Corey Emerton got bumped there by Hagelin. Rangers take over. Mark Stahl for Callahan, and that's stopped by Michael Samuelsson. Stahl back to get it. Stallman. Behind the Red Wings net, Kyle Quincy reverses. Kronwall up the board. Strawman was about to stop it and shoot.
Yeah, that'll be icing.
Poked out by Drew Miller for an icing. 5:40 gone by here in the third period. Saturday on MSG. Spend your afternoon with us. The Rangers take on the Ottawa Senators. Live coverage gets underway with Visa Rangers game night at 1:30. Then it's the Rangers and Ottawa Senators at 2 p.m. on MSG Network. Last time I looked, Ottawa was trailing Montreal
3-2.
3-2. Montreal
was
led
3-0.
3-0, yeah. And it's still 3-2 in the second period. Kreider. There's Nash, long shot, steered away by Howard and cleared out by Drew Miller. Lundqvist for Delzato. Long pass to Nash, tips it into the Red Wings zone. Howard out to play it. Abdelkader, nice pass. Nyquist, cross ice. Smith put it in front, hit the skate of Nash, coming back. Abdelkader's pass deflected. Kronwall to Zetterberg for the shot. Save, Lundqvist. He jumped up, grabbed it, held it to his chest, and gets a face-off. 6:33 gone by. Third period. Rangers and Red Wings, no score. Upcoming schedule is brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. Saturday afternoon at Ottawa, 2 p.m. on MSG. Sunday night back home against the Washington Capitals on NBC Sportsnet and ESPN New York Radio. 7:30 p.m. start. We're back with you. Islanders here on MSG, 7 p.m. Tuesday night. All games on MSG preceded by 1/2 hour by Visa Rangers game night with Al Trotwood. That game against the Islanders will start a stretch of 3 games against the Islanders in 11 days, including the outdoor game at Yankee Stadium, January 29th. Saved by Lundqvist on that high shot. He threw it into the corner. That time, a save with the left pad, as Detroit is starting to fire from every angle possible. Nyquist gets it back to Lashoff. That shot, a save. The rebound loose. Lundqvist was able to push it ahead. Brassard off the boards. Cooley out after it against Lashoff. Brassard and Kindle behind the net. Kindle went down. Wraparound save by Howard. Good play by Brassard, getting the scoring chance. Rangers now over 40 shots on goal for the 8th time this season, and the 2nd time against the Red Wings.
Now this is the 5th game of a 5-game trip for the Red Wings. Twice they've given up 45 shots on this trip and won both games.
De Kaiser gave it away. Richards fires from the sharp angle. The save was made by Howard. Then he got pushed into the net as play continued.
That was Hagelin that was on top of him in the crease.
Patrick Eaves sending it back. De Kaiser moves it across. Cleary for Glendening. And Stahl sends it out. Patrick Eaves moves in. Shot deflected and steered away. Stahl got a piece of it. And Lundqvist stopped it. 8 minutes gone by in the third period. No score in the game. Rangers with 41 shots. Red Wings with 34. Red Wings have picked up their shooting. Glendening out to De Kaiser for a drive. Save, Lundqvist. Big rebound cleared away by Richards and out of the zone by Stahl. Callahan took a hit from Glendening and goes back at him. And things settle down as both teams are changing.
Callahan whacks him with a stick as he's going to the bench. Just a little tap.
Bertuzzi went around John Moore, pass in front, and a good defensive play by Brian Boyle on Sheahan. The puck into the crease, covered by Lundqvist, and man, there are dangerous plays on each end.
John Moore just simply lost his footing. He fell down, and that's what allowed them to get an opportunity. Here's John Moore, falls down there. Now Bertuzzi's got time to do what he wants, and what a defensive play. Excellent defensive play. And then Brassard does a nice job on Kindle. And tries to stuff it in, and Jimmy Howard is on the post to make a save.
And for the record, Todd Bertuzzi is in his 18th season, 6th with the Red Wings. And he's been around for a long time. That youngster is in his first season. Tomas Jurko. Long shot, save! Picked up at the last second by Lundqvist through a screen.
By Smith let it go, and then Smith looked up to the ceiling after that. He thought he had it right from the face-off. The puck comes right back to him. How about that with the skate, the kick? That was by Sheahan, the other rookie, who was a former first-round pick. He kicks the puck right back to Smith, who got the shot. Lundqvist fights it off.
Red Wings with 11 shots here in the third period. Rangers 6 in the first 9 minutes of the period. McDonough to Girardi. McDonough's pass for Boyle. And then Girardi's shooting was blocked by Brendan Smith out of the zone. Whistled down for an offside on the Rangers. 41-36 are the shots in the game, and no goals.
To me, Detroit has been a little bit more aggressive in this third period. Their defense have been pinching in, getting more involved in the play. They're really doing a good job on the forecheck.
Ottawa Senators, who were down 3-0 to Montreal in the first period, have come back to tie that game. 3-3, puck deflects out of play. And we get another face-off here. Rangers will be in Ottawa Saturday afternoon.
Maybe with Brian Murray, the new general, not the new general manager, the general manager that just got a 2-year extension.
And a promotion.
And a promotion, that's right. He said, we're open for business as far as the trade market is concerned. But his team's been better in the last, about the last 3 weeks. They've been, they were under 500 for most of the season. They've been working hard to get back into contention, and they have.
He's willing to trade some young assets to get some things that he might need for this year's team to make a run.
Well, he lost his nephew, Tim, to Buffalo. He's the new general manager. We wish him well. Tim Murray was the man responsible for drafting Mark Stahl when he was with the Rangers. He told the Rangers, you got to move up in the draft and grab this kid. And he was really strong in his opinion on the Rangers getting Stahl, which they did. He's got a very good eye for talent.
10:25 to go. There's the man, one of the top defensemen. When he's healthy,
he wasn't
he's
wrong.
As good as there is.
He wasn't wrong, was he?
Ottawa has now scored 4 straight goals and leads Montreal 4-3. McCarthy, Carlson, Ryan, and Turris. Callahan was taken down. He looks for a penalty call. There is none. They continues. Hagelin behind the net. Out to McDonough for the shot. Close save by Howard. And he holds on.
Good play by Hagelin. Did a good job behind the net. Callahan wanted a penalty call because he had the stick between the stick of the Detroit player between his legs. Thought there should have been a penalty call. Here it comes. Zetterberg was there. Look at the stick right between his legs. There's the wrist shot by McDonough. Jimmy Howard watches that one into the glove.
Richards and Zetterberg for the face-off. Coming down to the midway point of the third period. Brendan Smith for Detroit. 10 minutes to go. No score in the game. Zetterberg. Double team. Callahan. Good play. Out to Richards. Joined by Hagelin. Hagelin against Brendan Smith. Behind the net. Callahan leaves it for Richards. Around for Girardi. Richards tied up by Kronwall. Girardi in deep trying to play it. Callahan up the boards. McDonough vacated the point. And it was cleared out by Nyquist. McDonough. Nyquist on the forecheck. Girardi for Hagelin. 9:20 to go in the third. No score in the game. Patrick Eaves had it knocked away. Cleary drops it in the Ranger zone. Stahl with a hit on Eaves. Glendening behind the net, taken away by Zuccarello. Zuccarello leads the Rangers in third period goals. Find the opportunity here. Pass deflected. Nash trying to get it out of the zone. Zuccarello is there. That was Pouliot rather, not Nash. Brassard's got it. Stopped by Eaves. Boy, Detroit has made it tough to work into the offensive zone. Pouliot's got it. And Zuccarello had his stick lifted by Sheahan.
I think he still got a piece of it, maybe off the shaft of his stick, and it deflected over the net.
Bertuzzi, pressured by Stepan, Kindle. Zuccarello gets there to knock it away. It's the Rangers putting pressure on.
Zuccarello is just the most fearless player. He is always, if he's got the chance to be the first man in for the puck, he is right in the middle of things.
Icing whistled against the Red Wings. 8:18 to go here in the third. Coming up, the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, your destination for endless excitement. Mr. Norway. That's Zuccarello with his second trip to the Olympics representing Norway.
He is Mr. Personality, isn't he? What a fun-loving player. Teammates love him.
Here comes Dash. Fires. That was a pass for Stepan. And Kindle broke it up. Bertuzzi back to Kindle. Lashoff. That pass deflected by John Moore goes into the Rangers bench and play stops. 7:58 to go. Third period. Which team will waver? Which team will break? Right now, no score.
No score here in the third. Alain Vigneault trying to go up and down his bench to look for something. There you see the shots. Here in the third period, you've got, talked about Detroit, how they've come out. They've 11 shots. 78 shots on goal. Neither team able to score. What a performance it's been by the goaltenders. A lot of pressure on the defensemen for both teams.
Who will get that first star? It's one of the two goalies. Rodwall's pass broken up at the line by Girardi. Smith and Kronwall. Pass eluded Nyquist.
He's back on that line now where he started the game. Nyquist with Zetterberg and advocated.
Nyquist tied up with Girardi. Nash bangs it off the boards. Picked up by Stepan. Stepan dumps it in. Works against Brendan Smith. Nice work by Stepan. Smith trying to take it away. Tie him up. Stepan keeps it alive. It's kicked loose by Smith. Good play. And out comes Kronwall. Rangers have it back. McDonough. Kreider looks. There's Richards. High with a shot. It was deflected up into the netting and play stops with 7:05 to go in the third period. After the game, we've got complete post-game coverage anchored by Al Trautwig with Marty Biron. We'll hear from head coach Alain Vigneault. We'll get analysis from Joe Micheletti, Dave Maloney. We'll hear from the players, John Giannone working the locker room. It's all coming up on Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame right after the game. Callahan. Hagelin checked there by DeKaiser. Callahan stops it, gets it to Richards. Lines behind the net. Callahan battling this time battling Quincy. Here's Callahan off the side of the net. Hagelin without the helmet. Richards fires, saved by Howard. Out to the line and out of the zone. Recovered by John Moore. No penalties here in the third period. Lozato's pass for Pouliot becomes an icing on the Rangers with 6:24 to go. Now every faceoff becomes great or increases in importance.
Yeah, it does, for sure. It's pretty even, and now the Red Wings get a fresh group of players on the ice.
Broussard and Sheehan for the face-off. Standoff in the circle. Callahan with a good play, but can't clear. Kept in by Lashoff, blocked by Callahan. Lashoff stops it, right back into the Ranger zone. Delzato and Riley Sheehan. Masyurko. The Rangers take it away. Zuccarello with Pouliot and Broussard. Back to Zuccarello. And he scored! Matt Zuccarello finds a way. Another third-period goal. And the Rangers lead it 1-0.
Sam, this was an attempted pass, and it deflected off the defenseman's stick. But this is a good job again by the Rangers to get out of their own zone. A little pass here, he'll get it back, and this is an attempted pass that goes off the defenseman's stick. On the play, Brian Lashoff goes off his stick and deflects just over the right pad. Howard was playing the pass, and it just deflects. He had his stick, or pardon me, his right skate on the post, and it still goes over the pad, 1-0.
And those are not boos you hear from the crowd. Those are zooks, zook, as they cheer Matt Zuccarello on the Rangers' 45th shot on goal. It goes in. Zuccarello has given the Rangers a 1-0 lead.
Detroit, they get a fresh group out there on the icing call, and the Rangers take the face-off and go all the way down and score.
Lifted out by Nash. Cross ice for Kreider off the boards. Laid back by Brendan Smith. Zuccarello gets the goal, his 12th. He ties for the team lead from Broussard and Pouliot at 14:02. Zuccarello's 7th third-period goal this season. That's a team high. Zuccarello lifts it out. The Kaiser mishandled it. Pick up by Broussard. Save! Howard looks behind him. He's got it. In his equipment, under his arm. 4:55 to go in the third. That man, Matt Zuccarello, celebrates the first goal of the game.
Zuccarello with the only goal. Sam, my mistake. It was the Rangers actually were able to get a change, so they had a fresh line come on the ice. Zuccarello is going to come into play. Good start there by Delzato on the play. Pouliot with a nice little pass, and then Zuccarello and Broussard. Well, we've seen it often. And is it a fluke goal? Yes, it is. But you know what? We talked about the way these goaltenders have played. It's going to take something strange to score a goal on either one of them, and that one goes off the stick of Lashoff, the defenseman, and over the pad.
That's what it takes to beat goaltenders who are playing like this. A little luck.
And again, the Rangers, the players talk about doing the job in their zone that leads to scoring chances down the other end, and they worked it there, and it ended up in the net.
Rangers take it away from the Kaiser. Callahan's got it, shoved by Glendening. In the corner, Hagelin, the Kaiser on him. Glendening almost close to a cross-check as he knocked down Richards from behind, but not enough for the officials to make the call. Stahl has got it, fires ahead into the Red Wing zone. 4:15 to go in the third. Rangers leading 1-0. Danny DeKeyser drives it around the boards.
Now Richards screaming at the referee for the non-call.
Abdelkader checked by Girardi. The pass in front intercepted by Stepan. Good job by Stepan coming all the way back. Around it goes for Kreider. Now Nash takes over with a shot stopped by Howard. Kreider checked there by Brendan Smith. Finds McDonough and a save by Howard again. Ronwald, boy, the Rangers, good job in the offensive zone. Zetterberg pushes it ahead to Abdelkader. Checked there by Girardi. Abdelkader. Back out to Cronwall across to Smith. Quick shot save by Lundqvist. Up into the netting. I thought it went for the netting. It hit off the glass. And it's cleared out. Big rising shot. And Lundqvist made a big save. 3:15 to go in the third. Smith around to Lashoff. Smith got knocked down. Play continues. Strawman Deflected, cleared out by Brassard, hit the linesman, and it's whistled down for an offside.
That was Pouliot with the hit on Smith behind the net. He was slow to get up, slow to make his way back to the Detroit bench. Here comes again Pouliot there. Then the hit just as Smith moved the puck. They're letting these players decide the game, aren't they?
They are.
They're not putting anybody on the power play. That was close.
Yep. That was a borderline play. Kindle. Up ahead, Bertuzzi. Lundqvist stops it. It's off his stick. Yurko got it to Sheahan and out to Lashoff. That shot deflects into the corner. Chopped at by Pouliot. He plays it off the glass out of the zone. Zuccarello racing for it. But Kyle Quincy takes over. 2:35 to go. Third period. Rangers leading 1-0. Sheahan to Yurko. Offside, Detroit. 2:31 to go. You're watching the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, your destination for endless excitement. Visit foxwoods.com now. Yet, next game Saturday afternoon. We'll be on the air at 1:30 with Visa Rangers game night. 2 p.m. Rangers and Ottawa Senators. Richards battling Glendening. Glendening is an active player, isn't he, Joe? He's involved in everything.
Hard worker. Greg Simon was a free agent. Another one of those players that was undrafted.
Quincy fires it back in, but the Red Wings were offside. They touch up. Meanwhile, play continues with 2:10 to go. The Kaiser across, gets it back from Quincy. Deflected out of play, up into the netting. 2:03 to go. Rangers have 48 shots on goal. 37 for Detroit. The Rangers leading it 1-0 on a goal by Matt Zuccarello.
That was Glendening that hit Richards, and then off this face-off, Richards says, okay.
Right back at you.
Right back at you. It's been a hard-fought game. I mean, it's been a tough, both teams. Everybody hitting and been a little nasty at times.
And both coaches in our talks with them indicated they knew how hard it would be to win this game. That hit the referee, and it's played out by Nyquist to Zetterberg, trying to get it back to him, but he was picked off by Kreider. And it's 40 to go. The pass up the boards, comes out, step on. Zetterberg all over him, help from McDonough. Out it goes. Minute and a half to go. Ron Wall works it ahead to Abdelkader. Jimmy Howard sliding out of his crease. He's between the two circles. Rangers trying to clear it out, get it to the line, not out. Girardi, Abdelkader on him. Around the board, Zetterberg goes for it. McDonough's there. McDonough poking at it. Zetterberg trying to play it. Howard to the bench. Detroit's net is empty. The puck around the board stopped by Bertuzzi just off the bench. He's the extra skater. Red Wings net is empty. 1 minute to go in the third period. 1-0 Rangers. McDonough sending it down the ice. Zuccarello racing for it. Icing. They say that Kaiser was ahead of Zuccarello. Zuccarello questions the linesman's call, but gets no sympathetic ear.
Well, DeKaiser was coming off the bench, so he was sitting on that far end of the bench. And initially, it looked like Zuccarello was the only one there, and right now he is. But DeKaiser coming off the bench is now just a few steps ahead of him. And then they have to determine what player they think will get there first.
Timeout, Detroit.
The Red Wings use their timeout with 54.9 seconds remaining. Mike Babcock talking to his team. There's Henrik Zetterberg closest to him. Former Rangers coach Tom Rennie alongside Mike Babcock. As the Red Wings try to find a way to break through. They were shut out in their last game by Anaheim. And right now, with 54.9 to go, the Rangers have the 1-0 lead. Ulf Samuelsson and head coach Alain Vigneault talking defense to their players.
Now both former defensemen in the National Hockey League. Ulf Samuelsson, a much longer career, a much more storied playing career. Alain Vigneault's been a good coach in this league for a long, long time. Well, they just want to make sure everyone knows exactly what their assignments are.
Detroit's net is empty. The Rangers send out McDonough and Girardi on defense. Zuccarello Kreider.
I remember it was icing. Kreider had to stay out there. I don't think that would be his choice.
Right. And Brassard. Brassard and Zetterberg for the faceoff. Stand off in the circle. Play back to Kronwall. Kronwall looks for an opening. Goes to Nyquist. He shoots. And a save made by Lundqvist. Red Wings started to raise their sticks. Lundqvist picked it up at the last moment and made the save.
Well, it hit the post first. So it hits the post, and then it hits Lundqvist, and Lundqvist was alert to find it, I think. I mean, this was a face-off win by Zetterberg. He gets help, and we'll see the shot come through. He'll go off the post to his left. Right there, off the post, off his pad, and finds it.
Oh, man.
What a play.
Oh, man.
What a play. Nyquist, who doesn't shoot the puck very often, shoots it there. Lundqvist didn't see it, but he heard it. And then was alert enough to find it as that puck was slowly rolling back and sliding back towards the goal line. Watch, post, right leg.
Stay out.
I'm not sure would have had enough juice to get over the line, but Lundqvist was very alert. Now the last time when Zetterberg won the faceoff, all he did was take the stick. He didn't even go for the puck, and he allowed Nyquist, 14, to come in and get the puck back to the point.
Rangers with Stepan and Boyle on the ice. Boyle against Zetterberg for the faceoff. 44.5 seconds remaining. Callahan's on as well for the Rangers. One back by Boyle. Fired around the boards by Girardi. Blocked there, batted out by Stepan. Zetterberg to Kronwall with 35 seconds. Fired back to Kronwall. Callahan is there. Boyle has stayed on. Stepan still on. Played by Yurko. Knocked away by Lundqvist. Played ahead. Blocked by Kronwall. Keeping in was Nyquist. Whistled down. Hand pass on the Red Wings with 20 seconds remaining. The faceoff comes out of the zone.
Now the linesman was right on top of the play, and he made the call. And DeKaiser, 65, they don't like the call. The Red Wings are arguing the call, but the whistle blew. The face-off will come outside the blue line. What a game! Still not quite finished. 20 seconds remaining.
Stepan will take this face-off against Zetterberg. Stepan, Boyle, and Callahan on with McDonough and Girardi. Zetterberg wins it back to Kaiser, across to Nyquist, who fires it around the boards. Callahan there, tied up by Yurko. How about the rookie Yurko on the ice in the closing seconds? Bertuzzi there. Zetterberg fires wide. 4 seconds to go. It's out of the zone. Rangers win it. 1-0. Third shutout of the season for Henrik Lundqvist. The first time a Rangers team has shut out a Detroit Red Wings team since November of 1976 when JD did it. Henrik Lundqvist continues his outstanding play, 48th career shutout, and the Rangers defeat the Red Wings 1-0.
Now what Sam Lundqvist reminded me of the game that he played in Dallas when he had the 22, 23 saves in the first period. That's how sharp he was. This was just an awesome hockey game right from the start when the Rangers came out blazing in the first 3 minutes of the game. Detroit gets the power play and they get 4 or 5 good quality scoring chances, and this was up and forth, back and forth between these two teams, up and down the ice. Goaltending was spectacular.
Wow.
The hitting, the intensity, you name it. This game had a little bit of everything.
Coming up, our 3 stars of the game, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit on the web at searchmercedes.com.
I think I know 2 of them for sure.
Yes. Let's see.
And maybe the goal scorer might be in there as well.
I think that would be appropriate.
Boy, oh boy, what a hockey game.
And Matt Zuccarello, you know, Joe, we've talked about him so frequently, and here he comes but he continues to be a big-time player, clutch player, big plays when you need him the most.
He's got so much patience with the puck, and on that goal, yes, it was deflected in when he tried to pass, but you know what? He was so patient with it. I would say Jimmy Howard was the second star because Henrik Lundqvist is coming out now. The shutout, what a game he played.
38 saves, 13 in the third period as he picks up another win, continues his fine play of late. And for the Rangers, they have won 4 of their last 5, and they're 5-1-1 in their last 7 games. 2 big points as they shut out the Detroit Red Wings 1-0. We'll be right back.